What's going on, guys? I'm here with one of our clients, Brandon, who over the past couple months, you've added about, you said about 20K to your video business here in just the past
Yeah.
couple months. Sweet,
Yep,
man.
I'd say so.
If
Yep.
for anyone, I guess, who doesn't really know you, just give us a little bit of background on you, your business, kind of where you started and what you've done.
Sure. Yeah. So my name's Brandon. I've been in working in TV and video for 10 years roughly. I'm coming out of working for local television, and I started my video agency at the beginning of 2022, never having any idea how to run a business. I was pretty much just freelancing, just taking jobs here and there, like trying to price myself out hourly. Didn't really, it was just, I was completely overworked and I saw no way moving forward until I came across Master Filmmaker.
I know you said you kind of like didn't have a full understanding of how to run the business. I guess what was kind of the biggest problem? Was it just like not knowing how to work leads, get leads, create packages? Like what specifically, I guess, was kind of the biggest issue?
Yeah. Packages, getting leads, how people went about getting leads, what to do once I got the lead, how to conduct a discovery call, a triage call. I didn't know any of that stuff. And then of course the sales, that's the biggest part.
Yeah.
And you guys are super thorough with the sales stuff. And that's like, I'm still learning how to do that. And
I mean, I like that you said that because it's like you can get leads coming in, but if you don't know how to work them, you don't know how to close them, that's what's actually going to turn into money, which funds the business on the back end, as opposed to just like a bunch of leads in your pipeline. You know what I mean? So
I don't
that's
know
what
if
we
you
focus so
remember.
much on.
I don't know if you remember in the beginning, when I started getting leads in, I would text you and be like, "Hey, what do I say?"
Yeah, that's just so normal.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, you're like, hey, what
But
do I
that's what I needed from the beginning. I had
Yeah.
no idea. I needed someone to hold my hand through that process.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. And I know there's a lot of other programs out there. I guess like what kind of drew you to this one as opposed to maybe some others? Maybe nothing drew you. Like what was kind of the biggest thing that made you decide to go this route over maybe some of the other routes out there?
Yeah, so I'm very thorough with my research. When I decide I need to do something, I look through everything before I make a decision.
Yeah.
And I looked at a lot of other programs and coaching programs and whatnot. I went through a couple of sales calls with people, knowing I was going to say no, just to see what they were about.
Yeah.
And when I did that originally with you guys, but as soon as I got on the phone with your team, it was like I was talking to my brother. And so like, and that's huge for me is like you guys, you're completely real, you're down to earth, and you guys are full of integrity. Like you do exactly what you say you're going to do. The program was exactly what you said it was going to be, and the results have shown. So
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Do you know who you hopped on with? Was it Danny Hakeem?
yeah, Danny.
Danny? Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Was there anything super helpful about the program in particular? Like I know we talked about the sales, the inbound leads, all that. Like, was there anything super helpful about the program that you feel like has really contributed to this growth in the business?
Honestly, man, I told you this a while ago, but like your modules, your program in general is so in depth that I get lost. And I'll ask you questions and you're like, "Oh yeah, it's in module 5, and it makes me feel down. I'm like, "Oh, I missed that one."
No, I get people on the calls. They're like, I know you probably have a video on this, but where is it? But I know you said you'd listen to it in the car. You'd listen to it like you'd listen to this stuff while you're driving and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I know like, yeah, go ahead. No, you're good.
I was gonna say, what's most helpful and what's continuing to be helpful is how through the sales objections, you keep updating that. As those objections arise and as people are asking questions, you're constantly staying up to date for that and you're updating the program because people are having conversations every single day and more objections keep arising.
Yeah.
And you keep answering the questions of how to address these. And that's huge. So it's not, I know like your program isn't just set it, forget it. Like
we're trying to always improve it and update it, make it the best thing it could possibly be. And the other thing too is like, I don't think a lot of people realize this, but like, if you don't know how to tackle an objection, you're literally just like leaving cash on the table. Cause it's like, if you knew how to handle that concern, they would literally give you money. Exactly. But if you don't know how, and that's the thing that held me back. I'm like, oh my God, man. Like if I knew how to handle this objection, like what's that worth to me? Right. It's like, it's worth me not losing a $15,000 deal. And I think a lot of people don't think about that because it's like all the money you've left on the table by not having an inbound system. And more importantly, just not even having a good sales process to begin with. And I think a lot of people like leave money on the table because they don't know how to have a conversation, conquer objections, and then get clients to commit on the call in a way that helps the client. You know what I mean?
I'll give you an example just with this last sales calls that I had. one of your videos, you talk, the simple response when someone says, I think it's when the price is too high, it's like, it's just too much. Same exact thing came up, but the way you just said this, well, how do you mean by that? I use that just like that. And it completely opened up the door there to really go in and understand what his real concern was. And I was able to conquer that objection just from that simple response. How do you mean by that?
Yeah.
But
I love it.
I mean, if you want to think about like the difference between me having no business and now $20,000 ahead, is a couple words. How do you mean by that?
Yeah. Right. It's craziness, man. I mean, it really is. It's communicating in a way that makes people feel understood, that you hear them. Like when you said you hopped on with us, like talking to your brother, it's just communication in a way that's not salesy. I think a lot of creatives are scared of sales because they think it's this weird, slimy thing, and it doesn't have to be. It just needs to be proper communication in a way that makes sense to help them relive their pain and come to the conclusion that they need to make a change and they need to work with you and your company, you know?
Yeah. And it's like, we're not selling them a fake product, you know?
No, it's real people who are going to help you, who do a good job. And we vet you guys before you come into the program to make sure that you have what it takes to not provide a crappy service to your clients. You know what I mean? Like, because we don't want to just pour sales and marketing on someone who doesn't have a good service and then they go, you know, screw over a bunch of clients who didn't get what they paid for, you know? So we want to make sure that you guys are providing the best service as well. So
I do remember, you guys were like interviewing me during when I called setting up an appointment with you guys. Like I felt like I was being interviewed. I was like, what's going on here? And then he had to explain to me. He's like, well, we don't work with everyone. I want to make sure pretty much what you just said. I want to make sure that you're actually a real video agency and you're actually providing a real product.
Right. 100%, man.
That's pretty cool.
And this is kind of a weird question, but I guess like, where do you feel like you would have been if maybe you hadn't taken the leap and jumped into the program? Because obviously it's a scary step for some people to commit to a program and invest money in themselves. I guess, where do you feel like you would have been if you hadn't done that?
My confidence would still be at zero. I would have no idea, no direction where I was going. But now I feel like I have a vision and I know how to get there. And you guys have given me that.
I love it, man. I love it. Last question. If anybody is maybe on the fence about even just booking a call to see if this is the right fit for them, I guess, like, what advice would you give them in that case?
So I guess if anyone's on the fence about booking a call with Master Filmmaker, it's like, are you ready to jump in or not? So the decision's up to you. Are you ready to take your business to another level? Because that's where you're going to go.
Yeah. And I think it's important for everyone to know too, it does require work. It's not a magic pill. You have to do the work. You have to work the system. All of the information and the coaching is there. But if you don't do anything with it, it's just going to be right there. It's like going to a gym, you know, and having a personal trainer. You have to put the work in. You have to put the time in.
And that's exactly it. And you guys you hold everyone accountable. You're constantly checking up on us, which is great. So, I mean, for anyone who has a video agency, or maybe they're doing, you know, just video work on the side and they don't really know direction moving forward, this is the program for you, because they're going to tell you guys are going to tell them exactly how to build a video business.
I appreciate your time. I'm excited for more of the deals that you close, and I hope you feel better as well. And let me know if you need anything in the meantime, but appreciate your time.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you.